Welcome to the first video on the fifth meditation. So the fifth meditation covers three main topics: the essence of matter, the ontological argument for God's existence, and the route to perfect knowledge, or the truth rule. So the essence of matter. And the route to perfect knowledge, or the truth rule. I'm just going to call it the truth rule. So meditation 5 revolves around the traditional distinction between essence and existence. That's sort of the key set of distinctions for this meditation. And at the outset of meditation 5, Descartes says that the most pressing task seems to be to try to escape from the doubts into which I fell a few days ago and see whether any certainty can be achieved regarding material objects. So this is really the goal of the sixth meditation, proving the existence of material objects, extended things, bodies. And so he's really only going to achieve this goal in the sixth meditation. But in the fifth meditation, he's going to take the first major step towards this, which is to show that we can trust the truths of mathematics, that we can trust geometry, which is going to be critical for the mathematical physics of the sixth meditation and the knowledge that it purports to be of bodies external to the mind. So to understand the fifth meditation, we're going to need this distinction between innate ideas, adventitious ideas, and invented ideas. So remember, a adventitious idea is a sensory idea. It's an idea that first we don't have, and then we have, and we're passive in the acquisition of it. It's as though it hits me. An invented idea is one that's made up by me, that I've created through an act of my own will. I put together through my other ideas, like a chimera or a unicorn or some monstrous platypus type creature with antlers. Or there's innate ideas. And when Descartes introduces innate ideas, he gives a list. And this list is going to be important for this meditation. So he says, my understanding of what a thing is, what a thing is, what truth is, what thought is, seems to simply derive from my own nature. That is, it seems to be innate. So what a thing is, what truth is, and what thought is. And we saw in meditation 3 that another innate idea is going to be my idea of God. And that's in a way the original innate idea. That's the fundamental innate idea. But there's also my idea of what a thing is, or what extended things are, what truth is, and what thought is, or what a thinking thing is. And so when Descartes introduces the topic of the essence of matter, extension, which he has reasoned about through geometry and mathematics in general, what he says is, it seems not like learning something new, but it's as if I were remembering what I knew before. Or it seems like noting for the first time things which were long present within me, although I had never turned my gaze on them before. Right? That's what geometry is like. And he says that at paragraph 4 on page 106 at AT 64. So here we see him revealing what we kind of already knew back in meditation 2, if we were paying attention, that our idea of geometry is something innate. It's as if I were remembering what I knew before, right? So it's got to be there if I'm remembering it, and so it's been there all along, right? It's like one of Plato's forms. It's an innate idea that I'm remembering. Okay. So meditation 5 revolves around this distinction between essence and existence. Essence and existence. Let's turn to that now. So the essence of a thing is its nature as conceived by the mind through a clear and distinct idea. So here we're properly getting, essences have sort of been with us up to this point, but now we're really seeing the essence of a thing is its nature as conceived through a clear and distinct idea. It's crucial that we're able to know this essence prior to know whether any such thing exists. And in general, our clear and distinct ideas supply us with certain knowledge of the essences of things, but not of their existence. Not of their existence. So just because I have a clear and distinct idea of a triangle doesn't mean that there are any existing triangles out there in the world. Nonetheless, to know the essence of a thing is to know whether such things are possible or not. Right? So clear and distinct knowledge gives us an idea of the essences of things, and anything with an essence can exist. Can exist, although it may not. And so to know the essence of thing is to know whether such things are possible, but not whether they're actual. And as we'll see, an important exception to that rule, right, that things may not exist, is going to be God. Right? And we looked at that last time in relation to the original proofs of God from meditation 2 and 3, or from meditation 3. But this distinction between essence and existence is first applied to the case of material things. So Descartes says, remember, before I inquire whether any such things exist outside me, I must consider the ideas of these things insofar as they exist in my thought, and see which of them are distinct and which are confused. Again, Descartes insists that our clear and distinct idea of body is of an extended thing, possessing the properties of size, shape, and movability. Now, since we have a clear and distinct idea of an extended thing, possessing the properties of size, shape, and movability, which we can study in geometry, we can know that such a thing is possible. For, as we now recognize that a supremely perfect being cannot be a deceiver, we remain confident of the truth of these ideas, or the fact that they represent something real, i.e. a real essence, something that's possible, something that could exist. And anything with an essence can exist, although it might not. Right? It might not. So anything that we can have a clear and distinct idea of has a real essence, and anything with a real essence might exist. But it need not, right? So merely having an essence doesn't entail existence, except for in this one case, in the ontological proof of God's existence. And so let's do that in this video. So the one being for whom existence is a part of its essence, and for which the two cannot be separated. You can't separate the essence of God from God's existence. The two can't be separated. That's God. And this inseparability of the essence and existence of God is the key to the fifth meditation proof of God's existence. I mean, we talked about this a bit in talking about the other proofs of God's existence, or at least it was in the background. The idea behind this third proof, the proof we get in the fifth meditation, is as follows. Whatever I clearly and distinctly perceive to belong to the essence of something really does belong to it. So whatever I clearly and distinctly perceive that belongs to the essence of something really does belong to the thing, right? So if I clearly and distinctly perceive that the angles of a triangle will always add up to 180 degrees, right? It's part of the essence of a triangle that its angles add up to 180 degrees. Well, then its angles really do add up to 180 degrees, right? And that's the point that was just established by our discussion of essence and existence, and that anything with an essence exists and it'll have those properties that belong to its essence. So that's just what was established, this first point. Second, I clearly and distinctly perceive that external existence belongs to the essence of a supremely perfect being. So why does eternal existence belong to a supremely perfect being? Well, it's more perfect to exist than not to exist. Therefore, God exists. That's it. So the critical premise here is going to be B. In the case of God alone, Descartes maintains, essence and existence are inextricably linked. And so with any other being, we can conceive of its essence without committing ourselves to its existence. For example, we conceive of the wax's essence clearly and distinctly, but this just includes that it's an extended thing that fills space, not that it exists, right? The wax might not exist. It's not part of its essence to exist, just like it wasn't part of the perfect pizza's essence that it exists. With God, however, to conceive of his essence as a supremely perfect being is necessarily to conceive of him as existing, since existing is itself a perfection that cannot be separated from God's essence. To remove existence from his essence would leave God less than supremely perfect. But God is the supremely perfect being, and so that would be a contradiction. That's impossible. It can't be. And so God must exist.